Okay, this is take two. Trying again here. Hello, this is MF217, and joining me are.
Some guy who fights pigmen for a living.
Well, more like a pig man, considering only one of those goddamn Gerudos actually like that, you know?
Also moblins. Don't forget moblins.
Well, doesn't that vary on the game, though?
I'm just going to keep my resident wrestling fan title because that's what I am.
And, of course, I actually have already beaten this game prior, so that's why I'm making a file on file 2 here as opposed to just making a file on my favorite of the files, considering the goddamn Easter eggs Rare were notorious for of his goddamn game way back when and all. But yeah, the reason I said this was take 2 is simple, because my webcam, as it was in the previous few videos, was put in a spot where it basically obscured the text, no matter where in the corner I put it. So that's why I have the webcam just awkwardly shoved to the side here like this.
You're welcome, by the way.
But yeah, you were mentioning something about me having actual experience with this game. Like, I know I sort of glossed over it, but the file I had for file 1 had, like, all the jiggies, all the notes, and more or less everything already accounted for, yes?
I'm assuming all the Jinjos, too.
That's just kind of go figure if I already have all the jiggies, you know, because the Jinjos aren't like how they are in Banjo-Tooie in that regard, if you remember, right?
Yeah, didn't you need all the Jinjo of a certain color for Jiggy and Tooie?
Yeah, especially that. Whereas all levels in this game had 5 Jinjos, and they were all a different color each, and they were the same colors throughout the individual levels. Whereas I believe Banjo-Tooie had like 9 Jinjos or so, and they were all not even from the same color palette that the original game had here. Some of them were,
There was only
obviously,
one albino Jinjo as well, which made it really easy to get that Jiggy.
And then, of course, there was going to be a gray Jinjo household, but because they ended up scrapping the actual full level that would have been Cauldron Keep in the final, they ended up cutting down Cauldron Keep to what it is and scrapped the final Jinjo house because of it. No, surprising, just... never mind, I can't really recall how I was going with that, because they spread some Jinjos not only across Isle Hags, but also some in Spiral Mountain, because there's a move you get in, like, Jolly Roger's Lagoon that you have to go back to Spiral Mountain for after you get, that leads to a Jinjo in the part of the lake where you're about to see me go and all that.
I just realized that's a part of Mad Monster Mansion.
Yeah, like, that's also technically a part of her own theme, which most extended versions of the track on YouTube typically leave out. But it's actually part of Grunty's own theme that actually is supposed to go along with the final battle music for her. It's like an entire minute of OST that's kind of excluded from that particular track of the game.
For what reason, though?
None that I'm aware of, unfortunately. I think they only really use it for that particular cutscene, and, well, then again, some of the cutscenes in Banjo-Tooie kinda did the frickin' same in that regard. Yeah, Bottles, you bet we're good enough, considering I already 100%ed this game at least a few times before. And I keep forgetting the Talon Trot is not one of the first moves you get for some reason, because I'm still having a bit of muscle memory issues regarding Banjo-Tooie, so I'm having
And Banjo-Tooie, they just give you all the abilities from the first game.
They give me all the abilities from the first game, and some of the abilities are actually improved upon in the second game, like the Beak Bomb, I believe that's what it's called, yes? Like, I am so much more use out of the roll works in Banjo-Tooie, I'm sorry, I just... Like, after getting used to how that works in Banjo-Tooie, you can obviously tell,
You can't go back.
No, that's not what I mean, like... You remember how the roll works in Banjo-Tooie?
Of course.
It's a lot more... How do I put this? Like...
Instant?
And then I keep reminding myself of the fact that, the swimming also got improved in Banjo-Tooie, although you had to unlock that first. And funnily enough, it was the goldfish that used to live in Banjo's house, that teaches you it once you put it into the lake around Spiral Mountain. But yeah, I think I might have already
Just
asked...
remember, even the extra life fucking talks. It's a rare game, everything talks, everything has eyes. It's a fever dream.
Man, I am completely out of my zone for some reason today, like for whatever reason, my overall competency is somewhat dumbed down a little bit at the moment, like, I don't know, guys, what do you think on that, like...
I think that's a phenomenon where the person streaming it tends to have a bit of a brain fart.
Well, normally I'm not really like that, and something's just been bugging me. I don't know why.
Something always bugs you, though.
I swear this one could be in fresh memory, though, as to what it is, though, like... I swear, like, I'm just going to have some of my old habits come back to me at some point or another. The moment I get the goddamn Talon Trot, the better, so...
Yeah, that's when you're going to be back in your groove for this game. Because that's the move that you use, like, fucking everywhere.
Especially in Banjo-Tooie, as you guys have witnessed me do, yes?
Yep.
Also, I should mention, I believe this is the first time I'm actually recording a Nintendo 64 game on my channel. Throughout the entire years I've had this channel, this is the first time I've actually recorded an N64 game. At least I think it is, anyway.
I tend to forget that kind of stuff.
Well, I know I wasn't recording any of my Nintendo 64 stuff prior, like... At least when you guys were around for when I do stuff like this. Why would I not want to use any jigsaw pieces at this point in the game, you know? Considering there's literally no other levels unlocked or even available at this point, so... Also, even if I did have the talent trot, there is the first note door I'd have to deal with, so... Oh, and guys, do me a favor, tone down on the shenanigans of this. Like, you are you have one obligatory Ekum thing to do, and yeah, that's it. I am not going to have this entire playthrough be flooded with VTuber shenanigans, so you're obligated one Ekum joke, and that's it. At least until we get the Banjo-Tooie. In which case, I'll probably remove the limitation for that, considering the frickin' chanting that they made for that in that game. But you guys get what I mean, right? Cause
you were very oddly quick to pull the plug on that.
I don't know why, just... Like, I don't know why, like, that's always been a personal meme for me, but, seeing it become a meme all across the net, just... all because of a particular Let's Play that did it.
You mean Corone?
Yeah. And I'm not really anything... I don't really have anything against the VTubers overall, just... I think it's kind of...
I'm glad for that. I would have sick Nazi on you if you did.
Well, you'd already know how that turned out, so... You already know that's a hopeless endeavor. You're probably not gonna be an empty threat otherwise, you know? Like, really, what can Nos really do that can really threaten me in any goddamn game I play? Guys?
Hmm?
I was asking a legit question, cause, what games does Nos play anyway, so...
Well, we know she plays Monster Hunter.
Okay, that one she can outcompete me in any day of the week, I know that. Considering, ever since I lost my file for Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, when I was selling a bunch of my PSP games, I sort of lost practice between then and by the time I got a Monster Hunter game again with Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate for 3DS, and Monster Hunter Tri in general, considering that game robbed me of most of the starting weapons that would have made things a lot easier for me, but, and the fact
Wait,
my parents...
what? I played Monster Hunter Tri. You can actually ask me this shit.
No, like, it'd be a bit of a long story to go into now, but, especially considering it's kind of dated history at this point, but, remember how in the original release of Monster Hunter Tri you only had the Sword and Shield and the Great Sword, I believe?
For weapons.
There were, but you had to make them yourself. But in Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate, they at least rectified that to at least give you a starter version of every weapon, just like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite did. Oh, wait.
My personal weapon of choice turned out to be the hammer.
Mine was originally going to be the Great Sword, but eventually I disliked how slow and clunky it was, at least for the time anyway, and I ended up going for the Long Sword by comparison. Because that was before a lot of the classes got buffs, so take my word for what I mean with how the classes functioned overall back then, so... Also, I'm not even sure if they still have the Blade Master and Gunner armor sets as a separate thing like they did in the old days, or if they just unified them on the one single set of armor. Like, what do they do in that regard nowadays?
I would not know.
Well, moving on, what other games has Nos played? Like, I'm assuming there are at least some that I would have probably played as myself, right?
Probably not, really. You and Nos are completely different beasts altogether. Like, completely different.
Why did I keep forgetting to learn that goddamn move? Like, well, at least now I got the egg shooting move. I'll come here next and, oh, good lord, that was... Man, I am, like, very out of, swing of things, aren't I? Like
Yeah,
whatever has me zoning out is, like, affecting my entire goddamn playstyle right now. Like, I wasn't like this earlier at all today. Like, this has been a today issue, if anything. And you can speak for me that that's the case, right?
I believe so, yeah. You were kind of out of it.
Like, you've seen my playstyle prior with this overall game. You watched me from the beginning.
By the way.
Yeah, you basically did a practice run for this a while ago.
Well, what effectively turned into a practice run, considering I didn't even know if I was going to record this until today, for that matter. Like, again, blame the fact this is probably the first N64 game I've even posted on my goddamn channel, so...
Not to mention, the original run was basically just to show up DSP, even though we already know DSP can be shown up anyway. Like, anytime.
Like, I zoned out with that. I was trying to pay attention to what Mumbo said, because I think didn't come in here prior without all 5 Mumbo tokens in this level, so...
Never mind.
And sorry if I sort of snapped at you guys regarding the whole Ikambokum thing. Just, I don't know, something,
Rubs you the wrong way.
I don't know, to be honest, like...
You know, it's weird that everyone else knows how to get that honeycomb, but DSP never can.
So, I'm not the only one who knows how to do that relatively the first bat off the thing and all that, you know? Like,
Yeah,
keep in
it
mind, I'm not
seems
running
easy
at
to
peak
do.
performance with whatever is going on in my mind right now, so... Whatever is affecting me at the moment is causing me to not run at peak performance, so... Like, something is mentally draining me today, I guess. That's why I kind of said before recording, before take 1 and take 2, that I literally said I'd probably have only enough in me to record Mumbo's Mountain and probably just unlock Treasure Trove Cove and anything else I'd have to do at that point, but I can't fucking remember what else there was I needed to... Got that. Got that. But yeah, like, you guys were mentioning something about me doing something to one-up DSP and all that,
Yeah, he could never figure out how to get that damn honeycomb piece, and here you are knowing how to do it first try, even with your only at like, what, 80%?
70?
Excuse me, sorry.
In fact,
You're reading more like an 80% to me.
I don't know, I feel like my mind's reading a 70 at this moment. Like, something's bugging me, just... I wish I knew what it was, like...
Well, I mean, we did watch a video of you and a certain somebody playing Pokemon earlier.
Who?
You know who.
No, I don't know who, like...
It was just in... It was not too long ago, it was like... before we started this.
Look, I have no idea who you're talking about, so... Who?
The person that I fucking despise.
Which one? Because there
The
are a
L
lot of
word.
people like that.
The L word.
The only one that's ever made me audibly snap.
And in case you weren't telling by my giant-ass smirk right now, I hope you realize what I'm doing with how I word that, you know?
I love you, man. No homo, but fuck you very much.
Like, you understand what I was trying to do just by pretending to forget who the guy was, right?
Oh, I want to forget who the guy is. In reality.
Like, you can tell I was having a bit of a field day of that. I cannot believe I'm missing something, Em.
And there's the pause screen graphical fuck up.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I think it's because of the controller plugin I installed on this computer, but ever since that thing got installed, I sort of,
That is kind of weird how a controller plugin can just fuck up an entire pause screen and turn it into rainbow gibberish.
Well, at least it isn't fucking up my more favorite game, that I want to record for my channel proper, that is Mega Man Legends, Cause I'm not joking when I say I want to do a full-on Let's Play of that, but, something's been bogging me down even on that. I guess it's just the grind I know I have to do, You know what? Turn back. Actually, no. Yeah, turn back. I keep forgetting I had to deal with Congo, I have to deal with the bitch switch, Like, I swear there was some dialogue that Mumbo had in this game that I keep missing in a lot of my repeated runs. Also, I'm just gonna try this, because I know this is an actual thing that can happen, that you guys didn't get to see prior, so...
Yeah?
There's actually a little bit of an Easter egg,
Oh, is it the washing machine?
I'm trying to see if it's possible for me to activate it at this point, because I have no idea when the frick it activates the first time, like it's completely random as far as I'm aware, and, I'm not sure if it has to be a specific level for it to happen in, but I've seen it happen in Mumbo's Mountain, just, I can't remember what...
I remember it's one of the bottles cheats.
Like, don't you actually need it to happen to you for you to be able to activate the cheat, or no?
I don't recall. You have to do one of the bottles puzzles.
So it was the bottles puzzles that made it possible to go into that form as an actual playable thing, right?
Yes.
You were really trying for this Easter egg.
Well, more like let's beat up Congo and then... let's beat up Conga, hit the bit switch, and then come back here again and try it one last time. Because again, I'm not gonna be.
Nice.
Surprised I didn't say that earlier about the notes, but By the way, if I'm not mistaken, there is literally like only a few enemies in this game you cannot actually outright KO, and this is one of them. Like, don't get used to them being throughout most of the game though, considering I believe aside from this level, the only other level the bull appears in is, I believe, Click Clock Wood. Yeah, it is Click Clock Wood. Right.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it with the notes because you're gonna. That's the number you'll get to while getting all of them, but the eggs aren't as much of a constant.
Yeah, we're almost at 30 minutes. I'm definitely not at 80% like you think I am. I'm more of a 70% right now. Now we deal with the frickin' Termite Mountain while we're at it.
That is legitimately a gulp sound. He is eating the jiggies. Whatever.
Weren't you arguing with someone about that during the practice run, basically?
And I'd like to not argue now, please.
Considering what jiggies you get later on in the game, yeah. Yeah, no washing machine. We'll try again another time. You know, for some reason I keep swearing there was a line he says at one point that he wanted to transform Banjo into a Tyrannosaurus. Even though not only that was that safe for the second game as he said, but Wumba beat him to it.
Yeah, cut out a bit so there's some context gone, so just repeat that a little bit.
Like, hold on. I'll tell you guys after I'm done with this.
And how could DSP never do this on the first try? It's easy platforming.
I swear he's doing it on purpose at times. The guy has some intelligence in the right areas regarding being able to pull stuff off, but every other time he's like completely dead in the head. But yeah, that reminds me of the original Banjo-Kazooie transformations. Which one is your favorite?
Probably the Cloud Cocoline Bee.
I mean, I thought I said Banjo-Kazooie, not Tooie. Why?
Oh, I thought you meant the series in general. I guess the bee then.
The bee's only really my favorite in Tooie. The bee's only my favorite in Tooie because they actually give you an attack of that one in that version of it. Basically allows you to access the egg aiming that you normally get access to in, well, more or less the entirety of Tooie once you get the right notes for the amount you need to learn it. Like, literally, Jam Jars' moves, had you been able to learn them in this game, would have utterly eviscerated Grunty like no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why I hold jam jars in a higher regard than I do bottles, because, well, honestly, his moves, if they were available in this goddamn game, would have utterly destroyed the overall difficulty there was.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's 100 notes as I thought I did. Now, only real thing from stopping me from going after, and now that I think about it, considering videos to go back to use as a reference for this, especially considering nothing's going to be blocking my way, I am going to deal with a certain elephant in the room right here. Did somebody join in?
Yes.
Oh, hey, Nos.
Sure.
Marty's recording right now. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
So basically, I'm having her speak these because I know I'll be able to go back in the footage and watch what the answers were, so...
You're totally gonna cheat the quiz at the end, aren't you?
So, does she tell you the exact same ones each time you find her?
The same ones each time, every time you find her in a certain place.
Do they reset when you restart the game? Because now that I think
That
about
I'm not
it,
sure
I
about.
have no idea if that's something I need to worry about or not.
If it gives new ones each time you relaunch the game, that would be a hell of a way to cheat the system.
No, if the game changes it every time I so much as boot up the game, then that is going to screw my little plan up over more so than I thought. But at the very least, I learned that she'll just tell me them again anytime I want. It'll just be the same 3 ones. They're like, I don't know how many times she appears throughout the entire layer, but she'll at least tell me the ones I need to know for that particular booting up the save and all that, you know? So regardless of how it works, I at least got that much figured out at the very least.
I'm gonna go take stock of my PS2 games. I'll be back.
Okay. Now, if you're wondering why the frick I'm just, Now, if you're wondering why the frick I'm coming here first instead of going straight to Treasure Trove Cove, A, I said I'm not running at optimal performance right now, at least for today anyway, and B, I know by the time I'm done with Treasure Trove Cove, I'll have enough for... By the time I get down to Treasure Trove Cove, I have enough jiggies to unlock Clanker's Cavern, so that's why I'm at least opening the door to Bubble Gloop Swamp right now, so I don't have to come back here in this particular part of the lair again. Also, did Corey BRB or no?
No, I just haven't said a lot ever since.
Like, you already know I'm, like, not running optimal performance, so you understand why
I
things
thought you
are...
were running at least closer to 80% than 70.
Like, what do you think now, after I've had to clarify several times 70?
75. You at least remember to open up that area early.
Yeah, because typically by the time I get done with Treasure Trove Cove, I am typically having enough Jiggies to actually open both that and Clanker's Cavern from the combined amount I have from the various bit switches, the starting Jiggy, and then the Jiggies from both Treasure Trove Cove and Mumbo's Mountain, so... You know, I don't think it's gonna matter if I enter a certain cheat in early in the game, isn't it? Without being able to know the move first. Obviously, it's probably not gonna matter until after I go to Clanker's Cavern first, but the game kind of requires me to go to Treasure Trove Cove first anyway, considering I need to know the Shock Spring jump. Also, my apologies if I get some of the names of the moves incorrect. Let's just say, even though Banjo-Kazooie was a game of my childhood, I didn't quite take the time to memorize the moves in terms of what their names were, to be honest. That was just something I never really... You know, funnily enough, I aced the trivia quizzes a lot, especially in Tooie. Like, in Tooie, I was the unapprentice master of the trivia quizzes when I was a kid and all that. But I don't even know how much of that skill I even still have, if I even have any of it at all, because... spoiler alert, because depending on how I do with this game in particular, I am doing a sort of unofficial practice run of Tooie
In your spare time.
in my spare time, yeah. But as you guys noticed, with Tooie, that takes a lot out of me to be able to focus on. Because you have to do a lot of backtracking beyond all frickin' reason. Like, there's stuff I probably don't even know about that game, unlike, for example, you, Link, in that regard.
Of course, of course. I mean, I have 100%ed Banjo-Tooie. In fact, I don't mean to brag, but the first time I played this game on Xbox, I managed to beat Canary Mary in one try.
Also, are we just gonna call the episode now, or... Well, at least let's get the frickin' cutscene out of the way first, considering we're getting to the obligatory this. So, obviously, we're ending the episode here, so... Considering in the first file you make of this game, not only can you not skip the opening cutscene, but you also can't skip this the first go. And I figured it was only fair for the second file I make, even though I now have the ability to skip them, that I at least play them through as they were originally intended to be.
And Mumbo's horny on main. He's horny on main.
Although, to be perfectly honest, couldn't Tootie just maul Grunty at this point? Now that she's probably got the actual strength of a goddamn bear at this point?
Probably.
Now that I think about it, wouldn't Grunty lose most of her spells to Tootie in this regard?
Oh dear God.
Would that make
notice Tootie's the more monstrous looking of the two, like...
Hang on, though.
If there was only the switch to beauty, why would she look a lot more monstrous?
Hang on, though. It only transfers beauty, right? And I'm pretty sure magic isn't associated with beauty or ugliness.
Story for another day, I guess, but, And that would have made my day if I had actually did the secret loading thing I did before, but this is just me booting this up just because I can, and because I'm eventually going to come back to this file and show you guys the the stop and swap eggs, but I currently can't remember what the frickin' passwords are for those, so don't think I'll be doing them now, so I just kind of want to wrap up where I am right now, so... Right, so this has been MightyFan217 with...
Link.
Hour.
And I'll see you next time. See ya.